Hey friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge again. My name's Jake, and today we're taking a look at this switchblade knife. Slip joint. Switchblades are illegal in Canada. I don't have any slip joint knives. I've got a number of slip joint knives, and Real Steel is one of the companies from China that's making some of the best slip joint knives. Real Steel SRM knives, Sanrenmu, they're a family. They're not the same company, but they're related companies, and they do a lot of stuff together. I think R&D is probably one of the bigger things. This is one of the knives that I think is a really good deal for somebody who wants a low-cost slip joint knife of a decent size with some cool features. You got a pocket clip on it. It's a classic back spring slip joint knife, and you can get it with this drop point blade, or you can get it with a clip point blade, and it's got a hollow grind. Now that's just a summary of what it is. What do I think of it? My full review, all that stuff is coming up in just a moment. Those of you guys who are concerned, yeah, my eyes, I've got early stage cataracts, and that's part of my problem there. So I mentioned it the other day, I had an eye appointment, and some of you asked about that, and that's what's going on with that. So not a big deal yet, but in the future it will be. I guess that's what happens when you start getting a little bit older. This knife though, yeah, we're gonna look at it right now. All right, there it is. First thing you're going to be wondering about is this sort of semi-transparent plastic here. What do they say it is? They say it's PC and ABS. The texture is quite good. It's got the classic kind of, you've got the smooth section here, and then you've got what's often a bone or wood back here. But, this is all just one piece of plastic. And that helps keep the price down. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in the price, low 20 US dollars. So 24.50 is probably the most you're going to find this listed for. Some places are going to have it less. That's in the United States. Unfortunately, I looked and I could not find this knife in any Canadian stores, which is kind of weird because, slip joint knives are they're considered much safer by a lot of people in terms of their danger to society. Ooh, risky. I got a couple little nicks on my finger right there. That's not from this knife, and it's mostly from inattentiveness, fidgeting while I'm watching TV or something. But this knife, like I said, you got a nail nick right there, and it's easy to get at. You're not going to risk breaking a nail on this thing. You don't even need a nail. You just sort of pinch with your fingers, and you can open the thing. Not bad at all. The back spring here has got a good amount of tension to it, but not too much. We've got a half stop, 3/5 stop or 2/5 stop, half stop, and you can just close it, and it closes just fine. We've got a stop pin right in there, and that stop pin hits right in there, and that stops the cutting edge from slamming into the back. So that's just fine. And like I said, we've got a hollow grind in here, and this is 12C27, says so right there on the knife, and a pretty thin edge, and it's just nice. The hollow grind goes all the way up to the spine of the blade, and this cuts and slices very well. It's like a large penknife, and it's a good choice. 12C27, it's usually got a Rockwell around 57, 58. So it's not a super hard knife, hard steel, at least not, in 2026, 2020, this far in this century. But, 50 years ago, this would have been a very, very good steel. Not a super steel even back then, but, a very good steel. And I like it for its purpose. It's not that hard to sharpen this stuff. It's actually pretty easy. It doesn't keep an edge extremely long, but it's got good corrosion resistance, it's got good toughness, and it's a very good steel for a decent pocket knife, made by the company formerly known as Sandvik. So, that's the same stuff a lot of knife companies use on lower cost knives, and I don't mind it. Special thing on this thing, the really special thing is the pocket clip. Now, it's kind of weird. This pocket clip is strange. Sanrenmu was the first company to, come out with this kind of pocket clip with, these sort of a spring tension because it pushes out a little bit. And then these little notches grab on the inside there, and you just push it in, and now it holds it. And it holds it while you have to squeeze and pull at the same time to get them to come out, but it comes out just fine. And that's what a lot of those pocket clips look like. You've seen it on other videos, but this one, this is so weird, so strange. I have no idea who at Real Steel came up with this. The big feature, the big special feature of this knife is it's got a fork. So this is the big EDC feature, you know. So if you're out and you know, you're out with your friends and stuff, and you're driving around, and oh, there's the chip truck, you know, in the summertime, whatever, you can use that to eat your French fries. I don't know what else you would use this for. But they call it a fork, and it's an EDC feature. So most of them, you know, they'll end right about there, and you know, it'll just work the same way. And if you've seen my channel for a while, you know, all over the place. I mean, Sandra Mew has got these in a number of knives, is what I'm trying to say. But it's a right and left, so that's quite nice. The only thing missing on this thing is for people who want a little lanyard or something, there's no lanyard hole, but pocket clip right and left, and you know, there you go. We've got T6 screws here, and we've got a T8 screw there on the pivot. Here's the T8. Let me see. Fits in there very, very well. And the T6 is pretty nice. Let's take this thing apart and see how it looks. Doesn't look like there's any thread locker in there. And open that up, and I'll take this apart and I'll show you that it's a classic slip joint knife in its construction. And yeah, there might be some thread locker in there. It's holding on there snugly. Let's do it this way, so I got a little easier time of doing this on the screen. It's probably a D-shaped pin because I can feel it. It's not super tight in there. Yeah, no thread locker on there. And now we can take that off. And a little bit of oil residue in there, not a lot. And there's that fork mechanism. And you can see this piece here, you know, isn't held on at all. It's just, well, it's held on back here, but I mean, it's not solid all the way across because you need that pocket clip to be able to, you know, slide in there. And let's get it in the spot. There we go. And then it just sort of clicks in place and holds on. So that's how that works. And yes, that's a D-shaped hole right there. And I'm going to squeeze it together. I don't want to take it all the way apart. And, you know, classic. I do want to try to take this one off. There we go. Because I wanted to show off, well, there's the stop pin. Put that back. And we got very, very thin phosphor bronze washers in there. And other than that, very simple construction indeed. I'm actually going to add nope, I'm not going to add any lubricant. That's decently lubricated, not a problem. And put that back together. Get those pieces. Oh, those are D-shaped as well. That's nicely done. It's can be a little tricky getting everything back lined up here. This pin doesn't want to get in just right. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, now this one's not in. So I'm going to put my thumb there to hold that down, and I'm going to try to get that pushed over and in. There we go. Got it. So that's how that's constructed. Not bad. Let's put these screws back in place before it comes all the way apart again. So they're not crazy hard to put back together again, but you know, I don't particularly enjoy reassembling slip joint knives all that much. Oh, there is some blue, like a tiny bit of blue thread locker on these screws. They don't hold, you know, that super tight. You saw how easy it was to take those apart, take those out. I mean, it didn't take me long. I just had to, you know, put the proper amount of pressure down in while I was starting it at just the right angle. So it's just a little bit finicky putting that together. Not a big deal. Let's go over all the measurements on this knife. And first off, the sharpness from the factory, I got a score of 150 bests on my tester, which is good, nice and sharp. The weight of this thing, 44 grams, 1.55 ounces. The length of the cutting edge, so from my thumbnail to the tip of the blade, 67.0 millimeters, that's 2.64 inches. Blade length tip to the handle there, to the plastic, that is 72.5 millimeters, 3.85 inches. The thickness of the steel here at the base, at the flat part, that is 2.45 millimeters, 0.096 of an inch. They're saying it's 0.1, but just ever so slightly less than 1/10 of an inch thick. Not bad. The blade depth, the widest point on the cutting edge, from the cutting edge to the spine, is up here, 15.7 millimeters, 0.62 of an inch. How thick is it right behind the apex grind there? That is 0.41 millimeters, or 16,000ths of an inch. Very good for a little light EDC slip joint knife. I like that. The handle length, not counting the pocket clip sticking out a little bit, that is 72 millimeters, 3.62 inches. The grip area, so just a little over 8 centimeters, right around 3.25 inches. So plenty of grip for most people. And the thickness of the handle, not counting the pocket clip, measured right here at the front of the edge of the pocket clip. I don't think, but I think it might get I do think it gets a little bit thicker right here at the end. But right there is where I measured it. 18.6 millimeters, 0.73 of an inch. This way, when the knife is closed, 22.8 millimeters, 0.89 of an inch. And the total length when it's open, it's right around 165 millimeters, or 6.5 inches. Tiny bit more for the pocket clip. Like I said, $24.50 in most places. I got mine at White Mountain Knives, and you can get 10% off with code CCE for Canadian Cutting Edge. That makes it $22.05. You might be able to find it in other stores a little bit cheaper. Actually, I saw it on Amazon for $21.99. Amazon, the United States version of Amazon, Amazon.com. I'll leave a link for that down below as well. You can buy it directly from Real Steel Knives. I'll leave a link for that too. Of course, they're charging $24.50. They do have warehouse in the United States, so shipping from Real Steel Knives is not terribly slow to North America. It's pretty good, actually. So there you go. If you live somewhere else, you can get it directly from Real Steel Knives. If you're in Canada, go ahead. This is totally safe to import into Canada, no problem. But I do wish that somebody like Blades Canada would carry this, because they got all kinds of Real Steel knives, but they don't have this. That's one area that disappoints me about Blades Canada. They don't have an awful lot of slip joint knives, and I like slip joint knives. Do I like them better than locking folders? No, but I do like them, and I like them quite a lot. And yep, got a little bit of schmutz on there because I've used this knife for a wide variety of cutting tasks, and I quite like it. It's not super sharp anymore. It's still pretty sharp, but it's not super sharp because I've used it a lot, and I'm happy with it. Like the badging, it's not that big right there, Real Steel. I like that. Not bad. And like I showed you before, the 12C27 right there. And that's it. And I like that because it's nice minimalist badging, not in your face. It's a nice, humble little knife at a humble price, but good quality for what you get. And you get a fork. Look at that, a fork. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it very much. Please leave a comment. That helps the algorithm an awful lot, even more than subscribing. So, but go ahead and subscribe. That would be good for everybody as well. But most of all, remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.